All right, the Lions and the Eagles. The Lions lose, but boy, Craig, you talk about some takeaways and some just like I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel right now.
Right?
Um, we're gonna talk about what we loved, what we hated, and what's
Mm,
next for the Lions. So, Craig, if you can, and you don't have to give me everything, but I mean, we can kind of bounce it back and forth. But what did you love about this game?
yeah. Wow, what did I love? Yeah, one thing in particular that I loved, and I think everybody is going to say this is the thing that they loved. It was DeAndre Swift.
Mm,
And just the fact that he looked like he took that next step, he hit the next gear, next level, whatever you want to call it. We all remember watching Hard Knocks where Deuce Staley's just screaming at him, ripping his head off, cut inside,
yep.
and you just saw him do it repeatedly over and over and over again. And he lit up a good Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Yes.
Even when our offense was poor, he was not. He was crushing it. So it was nice to see that and see Swift actually become a legitimate weapon for us, like we all thought and hoped he would. So that is one thing that I loved.
I love that one. I'm gonna go a little different. You tell me your thoughts
Yeah,
on this one.
please.
I actually loved this. I loved, and this is gonna sound weird, our defense. And what I
Okay, yeah,
love
yeah,
about it,
that sounds weird. I
it does.
completely agree. Because
You
I
give
did
up.
not love our defense. So please
Uh-huh.
explain yourself because we can just argue about it.
Yeah. So what I was wanting to see, I feel like this is a good offense. Very challenging, very
It
difficult
is.
to really stop. But I wanted to see some just physicality, some toughness, just something. And I saw two things that I loved. We were more physical than I've seen in a while. Just
Sure.
physical at the line of scrimmage. And I loved we were getting to the quarterback. And some of that was almost semi by design by the Eagles. It didn't almost feel like, yeah,
Yep.
go ahead, rush up field. Well, Hurts will just
Well,
run. Like, what
yeah,
are you doing?
that's fine. We'll just
Yeah.
run.
So that part was frustrating, but I it's a one where I just thought, man, the defense played better than I was expecting. We still give up 38 points in a large part by that second quarter that was very choppy for us, pick six. But everything was hard for them, and we made it more difficult because the last thing I could stomach to see was just the classic guys running wide open and just gashing us on the ground. They
Okay.
got us on the ground, but I mean, it was just tough sledding, and we gave up resistance. We gave some resistance for the first time in a while. So your thoughts on the defense, and that's my love. But what do you think on that?
So I get what you're saying with I mean, Hertz was 18 of 32. How often do we see stat lines where quarterbacks are like 28 of 32 in the
Right.
Patricia era and
Hmm.
things like that? So I understand what you're saying. Like the coverage was tighter, right? So that was really good. Here's the problem. They ran for 216 yards on the ground. Now we ran for 100, 81, so
Hmm.
that's really good too. But they also had 243 through the air. I mean, like just as you look at these stats, nobody could stop AJ Brown. Understandably, dude
Mm.
is an absolute beast out there. But I get what you're saying about the love for the defense, but I struggle with it a little bit just for this simple reason. They didn't play well for the first three quarters. They just gave up a ton of points, 38 in the first three quarters. And then they played really well in the fourth quarter. Agreed?
Hmm.
Until it mattered. And that's when they gave up to a third down conversion and a fourth down conversion when it mattered most. So, as much as I like the way the defense responded, it felt like a little too late. And it also felt like bad timed. It was just third downs we got crushed. Oh,
Yep.
we got crushed.
And
Oh my.
third down, and even on second down runs where we had him stopped at a 4 yard gain, he was getting 8.
Sure.
So now it's 3rd and 2, and you're like, did we not just have him? So I know that was a little bit of a stretch there, to say that I love the defense, but I see things where it's like I gotta see it next week when we play Carson Wentz. It's like if we're not playing a mobile quarterback,
I
I'd
agree.
love to see what we can do because that puts so much pressure on us. First game of the year, Hutchinson. I'm making
Mhm.
excuses for our guys, but I just felt like, boy, I think defensively because we weren't gonna be great defensively. We knew that, but it's like, can we just kind of be middle of the road? And
Yeah.
so that's why I love seeing like I think we can.
So
But
you
yeah,
thought you saw enough out of the defense. I understand what you're saying. And even
I
though
know
I
it's a weird
disagree with you
one.
that I don't love the defense, what they did, I also think that playing the Eagles is kind of like, I don't know how to put it. It's a unique offense, obviously. So
Mm,
you can't get a good grade on your defense. I can't tell you if Hutch and Harris will be good pass rushers this year based off that.
yeah,
Like
right.
there's
Yeah.
nothing to know. I can tell you that we don't get enough pressure from the interior, but like that's about it. I can't tell you if we're going to play the run straight up well or not. And here's the other thing you have to realize: this Eagles offensive line is a top 5 line in the league. I mean, it's a
Mhm.
really good line, and when you're multiple in the run game combined with a phenomenal line, look out. So the fact that we actually did straighten up and start to stop them a little more consistently in the second half and started playing better football at that time, it's encouraging.
I know. Yep. So we'll move on from that one before I derail the video anymore. And what did you anything that you just absolutely hated seeing, didn't like it at all out there?
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll have another video on this. What I hated was, I understand that it's not going to be flawless, but on the road to comeback, just the stupid things. Like now we overcame some dumb
Mhm.
things, but the drop by Reynolds,
Oh,
that's a 60-yard touchdown. And that's not an exaggeration either. Like the defender falls, and if he catches that ball and doesn't fall, he walks into the end zone. And then
and it's
the
a
very next play, the fumbled snap out of shotgun, it's like, oh, series over. And it's like,
Mhm.
you can't do that. And then what I hated was Eagles were 10 of 17 in third down. And most of those conversions that they didn't get were in the fourth quarter, which is great. Um, but we could not get them off the field. And so
Mm.
it just felt like death by a thousand cuts. And that drives me nuts watching a football game because I don't think overall we played that bad.
No,
And then
I know.
I want to hear what you hated, but then I have a second I hated it. If like you tell me when
Yep.
you want it. You want the I hated it now or when you're done with yours?
Hit me with the other one you hated.
I'll keep it quick for you.
Mhm.
The other thing I hated was really, really simple. I maybe I won't keep it quick because I'm just little flustered. It felt like it was obvious that our offense hadn't played together for a month.
Mm.
So we had the first scripted play. So first drive, we come down, we score, great, and then just hot garbage till the end of the second or the end of the first half. And it seemed very obvious to me that the offense just didn't have its timing down. They didn't have its urgency down, and that's I think because they hadn't played together since the first drive of preseason week 1.
Mhm.
That I did dislike that.
Yep, that's the one. That was mine. The 3 and outs.
No,
The 3 and outs for us were, just you can't go 3 and out. You don't have to score. You don't have
nope.
to score. You just have to get 1 first down, and we didn't do it. I wanna say 3 series in a row, then the
Oh, that
pick 6.
killed us.
Yeah, that so we're hanging in. I mean, defense is hanging in there. It's 14-7, and, like, it's, "Okay, gotta go here, gotta go," and we just couldn't, then a pick 6, so I hated the pick 6, of course. I mean, the odds of winning after a pick 6, that's such a huge play, and just, like, you just felt really bad after that, but, yeah, those 3 and outs, just I hated that. So, I
That was
hated that.
brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal. So, what's next then, Craig? Like, we go against the Commanders next.
Mhm.
What when you just kinda see what you've seen now, what do you think going into the next game, and what's next for the Lions?
Yeah, what's next for our offense when we're in rhythm?
Hmm.
And we have a game under our belt. It felt like Goff really got comfortable at the very end of the first half, and
Yep.
then that continued into the second half. I didn't think Goff played bad, to be honest with you. Like he was, I mean, he was hot garbage for about a quarter, but then other than that, I thought he was really, really good. And not really, really good. I thought he was good. I didn't think he
Yeah.
played bad.
I
So I'm
totally agree.
excited to see what this offense looks like. Um, in rhythm. And I think the Commanders, while it's not a great team, they have a good defensive line. So it'll be a really good test for our offensive line as well. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. And same with the defense. I'm excited to see now that the defense may have gotten some confidence in that fourth quarter. I'm excited to see what the defense does against a more traditional quarterback. That's
Yeah.
what's next is like it's still big picture. It's not individual players for me yet. It's still like finding out the identity of this team, how they're going to respond. I am interested to see how they respond.
Yes, because I felt like we for the first time, we did more good things than those really bad things.
Yep.
Usually, it's like but we just did too many bad things. You just can't do it. And it's like, okay, that's a good team. You know, every time AJ Brown caught it, you're just like, every time he stood up from catching it, you're like, geez, has
Yeah.
he always been that big, or is it
Has he
like
always been that quick? Has he always been that fast? I don't remember
fast,
that in
quick,
Tennessee.
big? Man, that's good coverage by Okuda. No, it's not. He's just
Nope.
big. Oh my gosh. So it was just like this good team that we played, and we
They
talked
were
about this
really
going
good.
in. Oh my gosh, we talked about this going in. Like it's tough because all this build up, and then oh yeah, we're gonna play this really good team, and then you're gonna have some kind of 50-50 games for the next 6, and you could be 5-1. So it's
Yeah.
like we can't get too low on this, but at the same time, I
Don't get too
think
high either.
yeah, that's right. Offensively, you can't go 3 and out, and then defensively, got to get off the field at some point. So with the
Mhm.
Commanders, it's like, wouldn't it be nice if we get a couple sacks, next week? It just felt like, oh, he's gonna be sacked. Oh no, it's actually a first down. Like
Yeah.
it went from
It went
third.
from 3rd and 16. It's gonna be a sack, dude. Are you serious? That's a first down? Oh my
I mean, that's truth
goodness.
to that. How it's just so backbreaking, and then you think, yeah. So what happens when we sack a traditional quarterback? What happens when we're able to get in there a little bit and there's pressure? I mean, I felt like there was pressure. I felt like our offensive line did well against their defensive line. Goff had time to throw. So it's like,
Oh,
man, I want to see us
yeah,
play
they did
against
well.
an okay team versus like, dang it, Eagles, you guys are good, man. Like, I did not. That was just a tough game to watch because it's like I feel like we're playing well, but Eagles, you're good.
They were good. Yeah, hats off to them. Kudos to the Eagles. They were the better team for sure, but I don't think we were bad. I think that became clear. It is also clear that there's a lot of fight in us.
Yep.
So the question is, do you feel good after the loss? Like, I know we're gonna do another video on that, but like, it's just weird. It's
Oh,
just weird.
yeah, it's a weird one. So stick around for the other video because we are going to talk about just how we really feel about this. And so we want to do a live reaction immediately after the game to
Yep.
make sure we got our thoughts out there. But make sure you subscribe, and we will see all of you on the next one.
See ya.